Greetings everyone and welcome back to Catic Reviews. And sorry for the blatant product placement of a worst version of a great franchise. Speaking of a worst version of a great franchise, a few months ago we talked about ReBoot the Guardian code, otherwise known as Code Lyoko Evolution, with absolutely no sense, no good writing, and no cojones. And now, unfortunately, Netflix has unleashed the second season of it upon us. But let's clear the air here. It's not technically the second season of it, it's the second half of it. See, this set of new episodes already aired months ago in Canada, and we're just getting it now. And trust me, I've already heard from a few YouTubers how bad it was, but seeing that it's my due diligence to go through this crap so you don't have to, I put myself through it. Now, for those who do not know, this is a reboot and reimagining of a 1990s series named ReBoot, the first one to even be animated in full 3D CGI that lasted 4 seasons up into the early 2000s or so, after which the show was let go. Fans have been clamoring for a revisiting, but not in this way. And if you need my thoughts on the first season, and God help you, you can find it at the end of the video at the card that I provide you. There you can hear my thoughts on that. But as for this season, let me pick you up. At the end of last season, the evil virus Megabyte had broken his sister Hexadecimal out of cyberspace prison. Now, for those that are fans of the old school reboot, you will know that the brother and sister team sometimes gets along and sometimes doesn't, which the show doesn't take long to reinforce that. However, Megabyte's still under the control of the evil real-world hacker, the Sorcerer. Yes, this thing goes straight up Code Lyoko Evolution, mixing real-world actors with 3D animation for the cyberspace stuff. Is still trying to take over the world. Plus, the Department of Internet Security is after the Guardian Code tech as well, under the care of our 4 heroes. Trey, Austin, Parker, and Vera, as well as Tamara. These 5 make up your new ReBoot Guardians. They virtualize, let's call it spade, into cyberspace via a secret room in their high-tech school known as Allen Tuning High, named after the main character Austin's father. Now, the second half of the season starts out pretty much the same formulaic reasoning as the first. Plot of the week, plot stopped in the Department of Internet Security is trying to dig deeper and deeper into it, seeing that Austin's mother, Judy, has a thing for one of the agents by the name of Rowan. Rowan, however, goes rogue on several different occasions, helping the kids out in the latter half, most notably stopping a nuclear missile attack. And yes, if any Code Lyoko fans within the sound of my voice are having their red flags go up collectively hearing that, then yeah, Code Lyoko did that about a decade ago or so. Beyond that, we find out more about Austin's father, the creator of all this stuff, and Vera. We find out that yes, he is in fact the sorcerer in the most non-subtle, most easily to figure out twist in the history of God. Although it's not a twist. The way they do it, though, is kind of different from Code Lyoko in the sense that he and the virus or villain are one and the same. Affected by the same dark code that he uses, the sorcerer, Alan, has his mind corrupted kind of Dino Thunder Mesogog style. In so doing so, at the end of the season, doing an act of similar self-sacrifice to France Hopper at the end of Season 2, only unlike Season 2 of the animated Lyoko, this one lacks the writing, emotional gravitas, or reason to care, let alone he is quickly replaced, obviously, by Megabyte and Hexadecimal, who decide to spend the last part of the arc in the dark web waiting for everything to hammer out. There is a new female character introduced, but she's quickly disposed of in 2 episodes. All the big revelations come from the Department of Internet Security. The fact that the department had been after the tech before and are still after it now, and they have a tough as nails, edgy, gotta get the job done leader as well. Well, and the notion that there are a couple of romantic hookups. Other than that, the second half is no better than the first half. It still suffers from plot inconsistencies, weird lapses in the show's own logic, especially in the way that the villain suddenly turns good here. But plus the amount of the character delivery in terms of the human characters are still bland, uninteresting and unmotivated. Of course, for all those that have watched Code Lyoko before in any way, shape, or form past Season 2, all of this stuff is stuff you've seen before. Seen better, with higher stakes and more urgency. And less snooty British/Canadian pop music and better, higher production values. Although the production values for the CGI has gone up slightly this season, it doesn't really improve how ReBoot looks. It just looks very clean, I guess. I guess you can call that an improvement. But still, the core bugs that haunt this series still remain, and the fact that they even want to do more of this stuff is deplorable. It's just not done well. It's not entertaining. It's not intriguing, and especially seeing that they downgraded the series' more interesting villain for the more routine reboot villains shows a lack of understanding of interest or stakes. It almost feels like Season 3 is going to be even a further downgrade to this one. Even if there is a Season 3, and God help, the answer is no, although all the pieces are set up logically in place for it to happen. The actors do about as well with this stuff as they possibly can, but even they seem like everything else unmotivated by the whole thing, which is really saddening because, like Code Lyoko showed us a decade before, this stuff can be done interesting. And I wish I didn't have to sit here and compare it to one of my top 3 favorite shows ever, but this almost borderlines on plagiarism in parts, taking direct plotline riffs almost step for step, only flipping characters over our situations. Trust me, if you watch both shows back to back, you'll wonder how in the world they got away with this. And only Season 2 cements the show's huge problems and lapse of judgment. It's one of the worst shows on Netflix, and still, even after 10 more of this stuff, gets still a 1. It's still the same show, even though it tries much harder this time to stay on focus. It's far little too late. Do yourself a favor and just, please, for the love of God, skip it. I just wish I had the courage to do the same. But I needed to provide y'all closure, and if there is a Season 3, unfortunately, I've been watching this crap too far long now not to be fully pot committed to giving you the closure you deserve. Let's just hope the closure is now and not 6 months from now, okay? Tell me your thoughts on the second half of Reboot the Guardian Code, or just the entire thing if it's your first time around, down in the comment section below, and make sure to follow the card at the end of the video to my more angry tempered thoughts on Season 1. And until next time, I'm Nirvana Sparkle. Find peace in your own nirvana. God knows I will.